Great. And lastly, we've really only got a few minutes left, and I'm really, again, grateful for your time. But just want to touch briefly, if we could, because I know this is something that you've given a great deal of thought to. The matter of suffering and dealing with suffering and pain that life throws at us, that God, throws at us. And I don't mean that in a throwing at us in a harsh, wrathful way, but He does, make us go through certain experiences. Why you wrote a book called "Why Bad Things Don't Happen to Good People"? What are some of the main messages of that book?
Well, I would say the main message is the title. I say the title encapsulates the main message, which is that what is bad. You have this classical, philosophical dilemma of why do bad things happen to good people, and there's a loving God or a just God. How could He allow such things to happen? And to me, the way I approach it, the way I tackle it is, well, you have to have your definitions. What is bad? And in simple terms, I expand on this significantly in the book. But in simple terms, in Judaism, the only thing that we call good, the only thing that Judaism calls good, is God. That is true good. And for human beings, the only good that we can aspire to is relationship with God. And hence the only thing that we would call bad is distance from God. And I pose the question in the book, is there any event that can happen to a human being in this world that will make them distance from God, just the event itself, without the forgetting their response to the event, that the event itself can make them distance from God? And you see, practically speaking, and if you want to take the simplest, the most obvious one is the Holocaust. And I've met many, many Holocaust survivors over the years, and broadly speaking, they fall into two categories. And I wouldn't like to say which is the bigger one of the people that I've met. You have the people who say the Holocaust took them away from God, or they don't believe in God anymore. And then you have the people who say the Holocaust brought them closer to God. And to me, that one event in Jewish history, and that one kind of experience that we Jews had of suffering and hardship, and the dramatically different responses people have had to that, shows me that it's not happening. They don't happen. Bad things don't happen to anybody. Good people or bad people or anybody else. Bad people, bad things, what we would call distance from God, and without judgment. It's very hard to know what people go through and the challenges and hardships they go through in life. You take the Holocaust as an extreme, but you even take somebody who I don't know, loses a bit of money and turns away from God because of that. You don't know the human suffering. You can't judge another human being what that suffering meant to them, and say, well, you're being a baby about it. Well, maybe if you went and responded in that way, you would be being a baby. But for them, this is something really challenging and really hard, and something they need support and love in, not judgment. But I don't believe bad things happen. I believe bad things come out of our responses to what happened, not of the events themselves. And I believe that every event in our lives is neutral, and we get to choose. And that's the beauty of this world. That's the greatness of this world. That's the greatness of the gift the Almighty has given us in this world, is we have free will, and we get to choose where the experiences in our lives take us. And it's as Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage and we're really actors upon it. And we all get different. Some people get comedies, some people get tragedies, some people get mixtures of the two and histories. Whatever we get, what we do with it is ours to make of it. And we can make wonderful things of anything that comes our way, and we can make hell and nightmares out of anything that comes our way as well. And that is the essence of kind of what I'm trying to point towards in the book.
Absolutely, and it's a world of possibility. And I think one of the things that I'm starting to learn as I, go through the years and mature, is that we sometimes paint negative worst-case scenario narratives in our head, and sometimes things don't. Often they don't develop in the terrible way we thought they might. And so learning to that and understanding that there's always a myriad of possibilities and how things can develop should encourage us in that sense of always trying to find a positive response, a constructive way forward in whatever comes away, because we just don't know how things are going to develop. Rabbi, thank you so much for your time. Really grateful. Please do consider getting Rabbi Rosenblatt's books, Mean What You Pray and Why Bad Things Don't Happen to Good People. Rabbi, would love to do another session with you at some point. Really appreciate you coming on JTV.
Pleasure.
And
really pleasure.
Hatzlacha with all the work you do.
Amen. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Ollie.